Perfection. Thank you so much for joining me today, June 13th, 2023. Get back onto the right screen here. I am so excited to show up today. Today, a Four of Diamonds day. Perfect day to step through a portal. I decided to stop screen sharing, which is fine. I'm not even in that part anyway. I must need to be here on the screen. I grabbed my deck. It's funny, as soon as I grabbed my deck, it decided to get off screen share. So I think that's very interesting. So it's great, like the frequency of time, the energetics of how we move through time. There's been some people that have figured out quite a very long time ago. Our playing card system was used for more than playing games. And so, as I said, today is a Four of Diamonds day. So that is the energy that we are all experiencing today, the Four of Diamonds. If you think of a four, it's a square, it's very stable, right? But when I think of a Four of Diamonds, I think of a mirror. It's definitely a portal for us to step through. Diamonds, of course, it's money, but it's values. And so it's, what do we value? What is valuable to us? And so we can really look in the mirror and see all of the abundance that is around us if we just simply look. So yeah, we can use that system in that way, a way to kind of understand and structure the things that we may not, or we can shuffle the deck and see what comes around. Ooh, I love it. The Jack of Hearts. So this is the son of the King of Love. So the son of the King of Hearts. This is like the Jesus card, like the Son of God, right? It can be that energy, the Christ consciousness energy, but it could also be the playboy. So the immature father of love, not even the father. This is just like a fuck boy, if you want to go that right. But it's like, we can look at this card and we can see whatever it is that we need to or want to see. So whatever that means for us here today. Now, I wanted to introduce us all to the Healy Analyse Blue Dot app that we have. As a little disclaimer, this is not medical advice. Please do not take this advice as some sort of recommendation for a disease or a cure. It doesn't work like that. Also, I am just learning, like all of us. We are all learning about this technology, even the experts that are like doing this stuff. This is truly cutting edge technology. And so, as with anything, it's always best to take what's true for you and what feels right for you and throw away the rest, right? Any questions arise, please let me know. Feel free to raise your hand. I'll do my best to see a raised hand, but feel free to unmute yourself and ask away. Yeah. there are 3 different modules on the Blue Dot app: the resonance, the coaching, and the aura modules. The resonance will read our bioenergetic field and recommend programs that are the most supportive to us to harmonize our energy field so that it is the most pure as it can be. It can be free of frequencies and vibrations and energies that are not us and that are not resonant. And so different programs focus on different areas. And it's fascinating because there are Healy specific programs, but then there are also programs that are not Healy specific and are guess you could say more metaphysical or more what's the word I'm looking, like topic specific. There is an Alaskan gem elixir programs to where they took the frequencies of crystals, and you can do a scan on yourself and see which crystals are the most resonant for your being, and it gets into descriptions, and you can really do an entire like intuitive read just from getting this gem scan. Same thing with, there's an I Ching program on there to do the same thing. Very intuitive. There is one that analyzes the various minerals inside of our body. There was another one I wanted to mention, but it slips my mind. Maybe it'll come back later. Yeah. And so when we learn which program is in resonance to us, we can then vibrate those frequencies to us directly to the quantum field. And then as a being walking around who has access to the quantum field at any time, we can then use those frequencies in the here and the now. It would also allow us to know which programs to run directly on from the Healy to our bodies in the microcurrents, which programs would be the best for us, either like with the cords, like I said, or even using the coil like I have, turning it into a magnetic scalar wave, or with the Healy, the mag Healy, learning which program would be the best to have in the atmosphere for you, which one would be best for your family. And it's nice to allow for the technology that has already all of the math and everything in there to do the work. I also love to first intuitively check with myself and be like, what do I think? And oftentimes what I think will, like what I want, will be in what is in resonance. And so that's an intuitive, like tapping in, how clued in are you into your body? Little check there. So I love to do that. So that's the resonance scan, helping us to know which programs to do in the pink dot. Then we have the coaching app, which is my absolute favorite place to play. And that is because it is very much in alignment with the timeline jumping meditations that I do. When I learned of what the coaching app could do, I said to myself, they are like facilitating timeline jumping by putting in your focus as your intention of where you're jumping and what it is, as it is supposed to be. And then you look at the analysis and it will tell you all the things that you need to work with and deal with. And, whether you have access to working with your ancestors with this deal, or because they're already working with you on this, because it's their thing. They want to help you. You can see that with the numbers on the page, or you can see how big of a deal is this for you. Or if you've worked on it quite a bit, it might be a lower intensity number. Or if it's a really big deal and it's kind of, you have maybe worked on it, or you worked on it a lot and haven't gotten very far, it might be a bigger intensity. You might have to work a little bit harder on it. And it's just kind of nice to know, like, if you might get a little offended by something, well, is the intensity an 8? That kind of makes sense. Maybe don't just brush it off as, no, they don't know what they're talking about, just chill, and then the percentage numbers are wonderful because they kind of let you know how accurate the English is to your experience. The technology is never going to get it 100% correct. We can't. It doesn't work that way. We can never speak about the all and energetics in English. Anytime we are talking about God or flow or anything like that, or the quantum field, things in our subconscious, we're never going to get it 100% correct with English. So this will let you know how close is this sentence or this, and the frequency that they're going to be sending to you. How close is it to getting you to where you want to go? And so, yeah, the coaching app, giving us a little peek into the closet of our subconscious, is, like I said, my absolute favorite. And then lastly, we have the aura analysis. In my recent learnings, I've come to understand that this analysis is likely a little different than what people might automatically think when it comes to the information that's here. It's not the bioluminescent aura that we have from our body. That's not what we're talking about. We are looking at chakras, but it's more about how those chakras, how active or inactive they are in connecting and communicating with the quantum field. And when I heard this, I loved it, because as I've been working with Reiki and chakras and and I understand those two systems, they don't even work together, right? Like people say, like, but it's like Reiki is Japanese and chakras is like, Eastern magic, and understandings, India, from India and that area. I'm certainly not speaking as an expert, right? Like, it's not, I understand energy centers, but like when we put them together, we're just like mashing up cultures, because we just don't have, like I said before, as soon as we're using English to talk about something energetics, we are just attempting to label, attempting to convey, and it's really something that is just more to be felt. And so when I was working with channeling, life force energy, Reiki, with me and our energy centers, our chakras, my understanding was that chakras, they're open or closed, and neither is good or bad. But there seemed to be a lot of focus on opening the chakras and getting things moving and removing blockages. And that's great. But like, if we put too much light on the subject, it can burn. And so we don't really want to just force the opening, right? Sometimes the blockages and the closing of certain energy centers is good. There's a time to be awake and there's time to sleep. And so what I love about getting this aura analysis just shows me where I am. Am I lit up? Am I energized? Or is it, gosh, and I've noticed that it maybe not as energized. I need to maybe eat something. I've neglected my needs for some reason. Life happens, right? And so to see how that will play out, and then it will, as with the coaching and the resonance, it will read our energy field and it will, and our chakras, and let us know how resonant into the correct frequency of our energy center. So each center is supposed to be a certain color, and that's a specific wavelength. And sometimes the frequencies are a little too fast or a little too slow. And so by the different colors, it'll tell us whether our root is vibrating in the color of the heart center. And so it's moving too quick. Or if it's black or white, it could be avoiding or ignoring, or I can't remember what the colors are specifically. I can look up, of course. All the information is just like a photo away. And then turquoise is that the chakra is moving in the right direction, that there is openness to the correct wavelength frequency for that chakra. Fascinating information that it will show you the way that past events will show themselves in our current bioenergetic field. Absolutely amazing. And so then it will create a frequency program for you that's like customized for you.
Yeah.
And then you can vibrate that to yourself into the quantum field. And then as you're doing your thing, you have access to that information and a more harmonious bioenergetic field. That is a little bit of an explanation about the 3 different modules. I would love to do an analysis with you folks. We have Miss Sophie here today. How's Freya feeling?
I think she's okay. It's kind of only been a problem at night.
Yeah.
Where she acts totally normal, and then in the middle of the night has issues. And then I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh my goodness. But I can't quite tell if she's very emotional. She was very abused before we rescued her. And so she, I think, causes herself some physical illness because of her anxieties. But then also she likes to eat out of the compost. So I could never tell exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And you guys are in a relatively new place, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that could definitely have some sort of effect.
Yeah.
For her.
A
Yeah.
lot of emotional feelings about that. Even though they really love it here, she just, being uprooted.
Yeah. That's always bound to happen. Well, shall we do a scan for her since, it's starting to get dark and we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see where she's at. We did one for her earlier today. That was nice. That felt good to do. Thank you so much. for taking care of
Thank
her.
you.
Yeah, yeah. There we go. So we're going to go into the resonance. We're going to find Freya. It's going to find our little device. I ended up putting an air tag to it. I
That's
quote lost it, enough times and freaked out enough times to be like, yeah, it's valuable enough for me. Okay, so we're going to go into the database, and these are all the different ones. Oh, Bach flowers, that's right. So homeopathy.
oh yeah.
Do homeopathy in the quantum field. And like you do homeopathy, you do multiple doses in smaller quantities. So yeah, these are all the different kinds of programs. Actually, let's do the animal ones first. I found that interesting. Here we
Yeah.
go. Healy animal programs. Let's see where Freya, what she wants.
Oh.
Has she had issues with her joints or her back before?
No, I haven't. The only thing I could think of really with her joints is that she lays, um, when she lays down, she lays kind of like a frog with her legs out to the side. But it's never seemed to bother her. And she's only, I don't even think she's two. Well, she might be almost two. But I don't know what that
Yeah.
one is.
Yeah. Well, whatever it is, obviously, that 54% suffering makes us think that, goodness, she's probably in some sort of pain, poor thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got a strange tickle in my throat.
Oh, you'll have that. I'm kind of wondering if she ate too, like, I'd put a bunch of eggshells in the compost, and generally she's been really good about staying out of it recently. But I'm kind of wondering if she went and ate a lot of eggshells and has upset. Oh, here she is. She knows that we're talking about her.
Well, so I tend to think of everything as a message. Let me get rid of this.
Mhm.
Everything is a message, right? And me having a hard time with my throat, a tickle in my throat
Mm,
makes me think that maybe, yeah, there was something that she ingested,
yeah.
an accident. And it's just kind of irritating her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to give her some bentonite clay and see how she does.
For
I've been
sure.
giving her some herbs in her water, and she's been, acting normal other than having accidents at night. So,
No worries. It's all good. We trust Freya to figure it out. She's learning about this new
yeah.
space that she's in. Is there any way to put some chicken wire or something?
Oh yes, we've actually just got the fencing today,
Yeah.
and so I've been mixing it, but she digs for
Oh,
it. She's a little bit of a garbage can. She just eats anything.
aw. Oh,
Yeah,
darling.
she's so funny.
Well, thank you so much for taking on a soul that needs a little bit of extra love and care like that. Yeah.
Yeah, she was free on the side of the road. Some
Oh,
Yeah, some man had rescued her from the people who were abusing her, and he just, he was older and just didn't have the time or the space, but he rescued her and got her to the vet, and we were able to bring her home the week before our wedding, and she's been great.
yay. Yay. And you have another one too, right?
Yes, I have Fern, and Fern I've had since she was a puppy. So she'll be 4 in September. And she was actually shot when she was a puppy in the head. Our other dog was an escape artist and had let her out of the house and while we were gone, and she had crossed the road to a neighbor and he had shot her 3 times, and she somehow survived and made it home. And well, we found her the next day. She didn't really make it home, but we found her, and she's a trooper.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a story, Miss Fern.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing here again, stimulation, which is pain.
Mm-hmm.
It started again.
Oh yeah. That's a clear yes. That's what the issue is, I feel like.
And like just in my right eye is starting to.
Oh, interesting. You you know I wonder if the right eye is coming up because we're talking about Fern, because that's where she was shot and she's actually totally blind in that eye.
Like I was fine. And all of a sudden it just like hit me.
Yeah.
So from the stimulation, I'm going to go into that specifically.
Okay.
You're into the stimulation programs and see which one. Oh, we're going to have a makeup running, folks.
Yeah.
I don't care. Okay. So the 4, 8, and 2. Okay. One moment.
Okay.
Oh my God. My body just had to freak out a little bit. I had to like excavate, take care of the system. So that's cool. We don't need that right now. The screen share, we can just look at my crying face. I wanted to look up what the 4, 8, and 2 programs in the stimulation are. And as you know, you can see, or as you could see, it said stimulation, but I called it pain. And I think it's really important and poignant that they don't call it pain, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is beautiful. Even though we are addressing, that kind of frequency, or that kind of results, where you know, even the word pain has a frequency that just even reading it can elicit pain. And so we're just like attempting to break all of those patterns. So scrolling, here we go. 4 is joints, 8 is anxiety, and 2 is back pain.
Interesting. Oh, you know what I just realized is that later last week, the neighbor dog had come over to play and they were running and playing, and he had kind of like tumbled over her and she yipped a little bit, but then got up and was totally normal. But I wonder if her back, she pulled a muscle or hurt a joint or something a little bit with that.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to vibrate those out to her as well. I'm going to, oh yeah, get back to my screen share so you guys can see what I'm doing. I must just time out if I don't do anything for a little while. So yep, vibrating these frequencies out to Miss Freya in the quantum field. And I loved how you saw it, Sophie, when I was first explaining the vibrations and the frequencies and the programs, and you're like, oh, it's like Reiki.
Mhm.
I had not thought of that.
Oh, no?
No.
It felt like Reiki. Like, when it was sent over, it felt like that same warmth that I get, I guess.
That's amazing. It really is. So thank you for that insight and sharing that with me, because I've been able to share it with other people.
Oh,
It,
lovely.
yeah, because it's like that's a little bit more accepted in general instead of frequencies into the quantum field.
Yeah.
It's just like people are like, what? Gobbledygook, new age, goobly, what? Yeah, I feel like that's what I get kind of looked at sometimes, or people, obviously don't want, don't do that, but it's just,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that was a really great insight on your behalf. So I wanted to thank you and give you all the permission or the credit for that. Oh, and I forgot to say this today is inspired by Aisha Ophelia on Instagram. She's the one. She did an email for her email list and was saying that demo days are back and she's doing demos for her community. And I said, wow, that is a fantastic idea. I'm going to do that. And I'm showing up here, and I would love to do scans for anybody that show up. But I did want to say thank you to Aisha. That was a fantastic idea. Thank you so much for sharing. And that is one of the beautiful things about this lineage, is that what I do, you can do as well. It's the duplication process is one way that we leverage our efforts, and like you don't have to reinvent the wheel. I am not reinventing the wheel. I'm not spending all my hours thinking, how am I going to offer my gifts to the world? No, it's simply like people are doing the thing and I'm paying attention to what is catching my eye, and showing up and deciding, you know what, I can do it too. So that's where we are here. Is there a scan that you would be interested in, Sophie?
Oh.
And if not, that's okay too.
Have
I just
we done all three of them? Like in previous? Because I know
have
we've done the aura and I know we've done the coaching.
correct. We haven't done the resonance. Do you want to do like the gem elixirs?
Sure.
You want
Yeah.
to check
Let's
that
try it.
out? Yeah, cool. So resonance, and then we're looking for Sophie. And then we're going into the database, and then the Alaxin gem elixirs are right on top. So there's a fingerprint here, but you don't really have to have your fingerprint there. You could stick your nose on the phone if you wanted to. Mainly what it wants you to do is focus your mind
Okay.
on this. So
Yeah.
we're like thinking, I am, which crystals are most resonant for with me. And I'm thinking
Okay.
the same thing, because I'm the one that's interacting with the interface, the phone that interacts with the
Hmm.
Healy. So I am thinking, what crystals are in most resonance for Sophie right now? Hmm. 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 Sugar light.
Oh.
Brings depth and physical richness to the spiritual life, helps us to physically manifest a warmer, more feminine quality of spirituality, it promotes easy acceptance of the spiritual realm.
Oh yeah.
Emerald. Ooh, a universal heart cleanser and balancer. Divine Mother and Divine Feminine gently coaxes the heart open to allow a greater experience of love in the physical body.
Mm,
Azurite, usually connected with malachite. Azurite grounding communication, opens and strengthens the connection of the feminine earth force with the fifth chakra, helps us to communicate with vitality, authenticity, and gentleness.
there's a lot of feminine energy in this.
Yeah. Malachite. See, I was just like, that's because they work together. Usually in matrices, if you find azurite, you will find malachite. It says grounding and helps to align and harmonize the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual levels of being. Supports the unity of one's being in all circumstances.
Mm,
And then the rutilated quartz promotes precise alignment with higher sources of energy and inspiration. That's the striations, there's that like direct connection,
yeah.
right? Helps us tap, synthesize, and communicate information from other dimensions.
Mm.
Cool. So those are the top 5. So if you have any of those,
I
you
don't
know,
think I actually have any of those, which is really wild. I don't have it up here because I think it's actually my kitchen, but I have this huge like flower vase that I just have all my crystals in right now. And I don't think
ooh,
I have any of those, which is really wild. I have a lot of labradorite. Well, I guess I have a lot of quartz. So
yeah. Well, as you see here, I am sending the frequencies of these crystals to you right now. So the blue line and the red lines are showing information moving from you to the Healy and Healy to you.
mm,
They are real time kinds of things. Not that you and I can read the lines specifically. But I love using this time to read and really like take in the words that are
yeah,
on the screen. It's amazing that the frequencies come to us, and not only are they here now, but they're like here to us in all of time.
yeah,
And it's great to like just have it, but when we bring our awareness to it by bringing our attention to it, shining the light on the frequencies as well, bring our consciousness to the frequencies, the access to last a little bit longer, to be brought into this physical, dense world. Everything begins with a thought, and begins with the energetics, but bringing it into this world that you and I are interacting with in this physical world, it just takes time, in the sense of it's just a denser energy in this, what
yeah.
we can see. And it's just a different energetic, I want to say like concentration, right? Like you're just
Mm, hmm.
denser. What else do we want to do? I love going into lists that I've already done for programs. So like in the coaching app, I've done a list for my bank account.
Oh,
And these are scans for my bank account and the aura on my bank account. But this green one here on the bottom is my bank account. I am harmoniously abundant and overflowing with power. The amounts of dollars I contain constantly delight and enliven the people that look upon me. The people who take pride in my constant expansion are able to utilize the power and wield in ways that benefit the whole of the earth as well as their families. Everyone benefits when I become bigger. Those who are impacted by my existence are excited to share with everyone who would listen about the depths of benefit we are creating together.
That's incredible. That is so great. I am amazed.
My brain is so crazy. It's so crazy. I love words so much.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I run this program to my bank account morning and night. Like it's one of the first things I do after I set up and do the things and get the kids set up. And then I'm like, what do I do now? I'll run some programs to myself and remind myself about what it is that me as the mother can do, and me in relationship to the father, how I can have an effect on our bank account. So this is interesting. So the duration, when we get access to these devices, they're we get a guide, but it's and there is tons of information on the internet, but we just have to like find it oftentimes. Like plus like same thing. There is a whole Healy Academy from like everything that's on there that Healy has done and put out. And so it's just a matter of whether you do the clicks and you look and you find and you take the time to listen to the 4-minute video about this, that, and the other thing. And so there is a little bit of investing to learn how to use this complex technology. And so when I was running programs like this for like, I heard someone was doing it overnight and I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. Like running this frequency to me myself all night long. Cool. And then I'm just like, why would we do it less or more? So I decided to go on a little information hunt. And what I had like seen and the information, it's essentially if it's a acute issue, so ACUTE, acute, you do the minute and 20 seconds. Or if it is a chronic issue, you do the 2-minute and 49 seconds. Or if you are vibrating to something very large, like a mountain, you add Mount whatever, Camelback Mountain. You had Camelback Mountain into the Healy as a client because you want to, inhabit, you feel connected to the mountain, you've asked for permission with the mountain, you feel good about, that relationship there, and you like want to give the mountain some good vibrations. It's best to do it for like 12 minutes. And it's because it's a very large thing. And I didn't understand quite why. And so if I'm thinking about it and theorizing and using my brain, if it's an acute issue, it's not been around for very long. And so it just wouldn't like benefit from like as big of a bath of the frequencies. It just doesn't have, yeah. Just for some reason, it was just like, oh, it's like how long we've been around versus a mountain has been around and is this huge, massive thing. And so giving it a longer, bigger bath makes more sense. You need more water to bathe it. So yeah. So when I'm doing my bank account, how big is my bank account? Right? Like I'm not going to limit it to 1 minute and 20 seconds. So yeah, sometimes I do the 5-minute or 6-minute, sometimes I do the 12-minute, because maybe my bank account is as big as a mountain. And definitely for Rockets and Robots, I do the same thing for my business and our game that we're creating. That's going to be huge. It's going to be massive. It's going to be changing and affecting so many people's lives because of just the active participation and play, right? And community and getting together. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. And so I can definitely see that being as big as a mountain. So I'll spend the time and I'll set this up. And right now with this app, like I'm running it on my extra phone, the one that I'm not using it anymore because I can't swipe away from this without interrupting the program currently. They are working on a version 2 of this app to where you can, versus when you are on the Pink app and you download a program from the Pink app, you can swipe up and get away from it and don't need to be connected or anything like that. But right now it's really using this device to vibrate into the quantum field. And if anybody's interested to know like what's on the inside, I have access to a really like heavy tech heavy video. I haven't gotten through it all the way, because of how heavy it is. I've needed to like sit down and because it's
My
real
stomach.
stuff. uh, so yeah, let me know if that's something that interests you. I'm happy to send it your way. I think that is about all I wanted to share. I haven't done an aura analysis. I'd like to do one aura analysis just because we've talked about it. And I think that will be it for us for episode 1. Oh my goodness. Sophie, is there anything that you would like with an aura? And if not, it's okay. We can I'm happy to do mine, but I just wanted to offer if that was something
Oh,
that
I
you.
would love to.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do an aura scan for you when this is done in just a few seconds. There we go. So Sophie is already in here, so I wouldn't have to add a new one, but if I wanted to, right at the top there would be add new. Oh, silly me. We're already there. So we're going to go to the aura analysis. There we go. I didn't need to go into clients. There we go. So I want you to just take a deep breath, kind of center yourself into your own body and allow your breath to kind of let you feel your body from up and down, communicating with the whole. I'm going to record your aura now. Here's your beautiful face. Here's the bar graph.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So the total, as you can see on the left, is not the average.
Mm-hmm.
It is like how the organism is like as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's quite
It's a little low.
low.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just nice to see, right? If it's any
Mhm.
sort of message for you, anything that comes up that you're like, oh, well, this is what happens when I do that, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
definitely what happens when I don't do yoga or meditate for a few weeks. Things get a little wonky.
Yeah. Yeah. Your solar plexus is
Mm,
quite inactive. And neither of these are good or bad, right? That's just what it is.
yeah.
And so naturally the technology will select the lowest 3, and then it will go into analyze those a little deeper. So we're going to start that analysis.
Okay.
We can change this focus at the top I generally tend to make it, my aura is strong, stable, and magnetic to those who are in alignment with my
Oh yeah.
offerings. Um, is there
It could
anything
just
like
say,
that? Yeah.
my aura is strong and stable and let me think.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Hang on. Oh, maybe I'm not. Okay, I guess I'm not gonna sneeze. um, gosh, I'm sure that's a sign of something.
Yeah, it
Uh,
means you know. You know. He
yeah,
knows.
yeah. My aura is strong and stable and vibrant. We'll
Ooh.
put vibrant. That feels right.
Yeah, yes. And then I'm not going to do any period at the end because I'm going to let the universe finish the sentence there.
Yeah.
And so, same thing. You and I are intending and seeing your aura strong, stable, and vibrant right now.
Mm.
And so, these are the things that will help you, that are supportive for you to be in that. So, I look at the present state and the present state description,
Mm.
able to take more and more responsibility for your life. No longer give it up to other people. Look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it says solar plexus chakra is shining in the solar plexus heart chakra color yellow green. So it's like it's almost in the right color. It's a yellow green instead of yellow. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. So that one was a 96% relevant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Mhm. Let's go here. 89%. So present state. This is for your throat chakra. The person can allow themselves more and more to, or often to accept something from others and to enjoy it. The throat chakra is shining in the color turquoise. So you're showing readiness towards that. Yeah. And then I'm going to email this to you. Okay, so that you
Okay.
can really dive through, and like it's nice to look at the desired state and the desired state description because your thoughts are creating the density and getting
Yeah.
you more and more in alignment with these frequencies.
Hmm.
So I will make sure to give you this so that you can really look through it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, of course. 86% for your solar plexus. Again, the person experiences powerlessness because they subordinate themselves to the father or to men. The solar
Interesting.
plexus chakra is shining in the crown chakra color violet.
Mm.
I love the way that they view the father as the crown and the mother as the root.
Yeah.
So when it's like it's an issue that we're too low and we need to bring it higher, it can really be an issue with the mother being perceived in a weird way, or an issue from the mother. Like that's where the translation comes in.
Yeah.
I've just noticed, and it's just ah after my own heart, like the relevance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to our throat here. The person is afraid to express themselves. The throat color is shining in the root color, the root chakra color red. So it would be
Mm.
lower. Bring that
Yeah.
up a little bit. 78% here. The person has an intellectual idea about their expression, but their individuality cannot be lived in this way.
Hmm.
I intellectualize quite a bit, so I feel, yeah, I get that one
Yeah.
quite a lot. The person has experienced carrot and stick, leading to an ambivalent perception of their father.
Interesting.
The crown chakra is shining in the solar plexus, heart chakra color, yellow-green.
Mm.
The crown chakra here, it says there are problems with authorities. I get that one quite a bit. The crown chakra is shining in the throat chakra color, blue. So I think that, isn't that interesting how the crown is shining in the throat? So it's like, so we're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
don't want to talk about it. I got problems with these authorities. Uh, so the third chakra here, the person
Oh.
knows that they refuse to experience one or more aspect of the solar plexus chakra. They show avoidance behavior. And so that is the
Mm.
white. Solar plexus chakra is shining in the color white.
Mm.
Crown. The person knows that they refuse to live one or more themes of the crown chakra. They are showing avoidance behavior. We've got another white here. And you see it's got an 8 there for intensity, the number next to the percentage there. And then the C in the 18, that also has significance that I can look up and send to you. If there, I can send you the photo for, you can translate yourself,
Yeah.
Nice to have a
Yeah,
legend,
that'd be
right?
cool.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. So that's what we got for your aura being strong, stable, and vibrant. And now I'm going to
Mm.
vibrate to you. Oh, so grateful to you, Sophie. Thank you so much. It has
Thank
been a
you.
pleasure to chat with you as we've been doing about this device. And every time that you ask, hey, can you run that program for me? I'm just like, yeah, I can.
I'm so glad because sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want a bugger. Then, the whole throat chakra thing. But I'm really, really
Exactly.
excited about it.
Yeah, exactly. And I know and trust that when people work with this, that it's like for them, and when people don't want to work with it, it's totally okay. I never want to like force it on anybody, it's like this, that's like forcing prayer. Like that doesn't
Hmm. It
doesn't
doesn't
work.
work.
No. And in actuality, if you're praying for someone against their will or consent, is that okay? You're praying for them
Yeah.
to heal when in actuality, maybe the best thing for them is to not heal. What if?
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't know that. We
Everyone's on
can't
their own
say.
journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What if your prayers for healing just gives that bandage for them to just be just enough okay for the entirety of their life, that they never get
Yeah.
the help that they really, really would have gotten if they just allowed themselves to not be okay or whatever,
Yeah.
or people would allow. So anyway, that's
Yeah.
how I see it, that the ethical responsibility of working with this, and like I would never put somebody in as a client against their will, right? It
Hmm.
would, that would violate everything that this company and that this technology is about. So I get so excited when people are that do want to participate, because the value is in it is immense. So thank you, Sophie, so much. Appreciate you.
Oh, of course. I really appreciate you and this friendship developing. It's really exciting, even through this distance.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I'll tell you, when my husband spoke of you the first time, I was just like, yeah, I could totally see it. I'm always open to meeting people, and especially people who are bold enough to have their own business. I think that's
Yeah.
really, really beautiful because I am friends with people that I admire. And I
Mhm.
admire the brave, I admire the bold, I admire people that are willing to step out and do their own thing and not just be told what to do all the time, that actually have the ability to go out and get themselves, the next job, whatever it is, even if you're having
Yeah.
to paint cabinets in your kitchen. Like that's fucking beautiful. And I love that. So I love hearing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really it is really fun. It can be overwhelming at times, but, you know, as soon as we totally release anxiety of like, "Oh, where's the next work gonna come from?" As soon as we release it, the work floods in, and it's just been this lesson over and over, and just finding peace, and also rewiring the way our brains think about working, because, here and specifically America, but really just in the world, things are so set up to be like, you have to work this much or else you're not working hard enough. And that's not true. It's not true at all. And um, we've just found so much freedom in our marriage and in our families and in our home, like to just do what we need to because we set the rules, and it's been amazing. So I'm really excited. I'm so excited to see like where your businesses go.
Yeah. Yeah. We are beyond words excited. I cannot even put anything on it. I'm just like cheering you on while you're like talking about being a small business owner, because like I can feel it, that you understand, you get it, it being in the feeling of it, that helps us to be in aligned with actually the thing. We can't want the thing
Yeah.
and have the thing at the same time. So why are we focused
Yeah.
on just wanting? We already have the thing. It's there, it's
Hmm.
just and I
Yeah.
know like that a lot of people in the world have problems with like that understanding of it's already yours being entitled or like not realistic and whatnot. But like this is just the law of how this universe works. It's just observing
Yeah.
in patterns, and we're not making up the rules, we're just playing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, Sophie, this will not be the last time we talk. Thank you so much. Yay. We'll talk soon.